Alrighty, this video is going to be about how to put some weight on your toddler who is underweight. Ella, as you know, if you actually watch my videos like regularly, she is underweight. She is 15 and a half months old and 17 pounds and 29 inches long. Can't really change much about the length because I'm short and she's going to be short as well. So I found some really good websites online. In my search, I've discovered more and more different things that I didn't know. But I'll first start with that I found this website is dietitian.com, and it was telling it was these question and answer things that they were doing. And in one of the paragraphs it said that height and weight tables for newborns to 2-year-olds used by doctors and dietitians were developed from a single community of Ohio Caucasian bottle-fed babies between 1929 and 1975 who came from families of similar socioeconomic backgrounds. These babies were not measured often enough every 3 months, yet their data is used to measure every U.S. infant. New data is in the process of being collected by the National Center for Health Statistics, but will still reflect mostly bottle-fed infants because few women breastfeed for 12 or even 24 months. On the other hand, if growth charts were based on breastfed infants, bottle-fed infants would be misdiagnosed as overweight. Weight loss is not recommended in children or infants because it would negatively impact brain development. The World Health Organization infant growth charts contain weight gains more typical of breastfed infants, but they're not used in the United States. So anyways, but they have developed more recent growth charts back in 2000 is what I found. I'll put the link up to those growth charts, and I'll also put the link up to the World Health Organization breastfed babies growth charts. I found it very interesting because when I compared Ella's weight when she was like breastfeeding, she was in like the 15th to sometimes 50th percentile, whereas when I compared it to the growth charts we use here in the U.S., it was only like in the 5th to 10th percentile. So I also learned that between months 2 and 3 of the babies, breastfed babies, they do gain a lot of weight, and then around 6 months old they kind of taper off and they slow down their weight, whereas formula-fed babies will pick up their weight. Just something that I read. I'll put the link up to that as well. So anyways, but and it says breastfed infants' rate of increases in length and head circumference does not differ between breast and formula-fed infants from 3 to 12 months of age. So, and the other interesting thing I found out was a mother's BMI appears to determine the mother's breast milk fat content, but infants seem to compensate for varying amounts of breast milk fat by altering the amount they drink. The amounts of calories a breastfed infant consumes is not related to the age that solid foods are introduced as long as the infant continues to breastfeed. So your baby's weight may be a factor of breastfeeding, especially since your doctor has not found any genetic or hormonal abnormality. And that was just answering this lady's question up here. And Ella does not have any genetic or hormonal abnormalities. So, not that we know of, at least. So, anyways, I just thought that was interesting because Ella was breastfed until she was 9.5 months, or she drank breast milk until she was 9.5 months, and then about that time I introduced formula and mixed the breast milk and formula, which she didn't like that very much, but I was starting to dry up, so I knew that I had to do something quickly. So anyways, but I just thought I would start off with that as the introduction part of the video. Now I'll get into, I found some good information on how to increase a baby's weight or your toddler's weight by not adding lots and lots of butter and doing unhealthy things to the child. But anyways, so I found that you can add, instead of butter, you can do olive oil to vegetables. It's a good source of fat for them. Olives are a good source of fat. Avocados, which I've been looking a lot at because I bought some avocados and I've actually found some recipes for avocados. Peanut butter, as long as they're not allergic to it. Pasta, broccoli, eggs, fish, squash, sweet potatoes, kidney beans, cheese, preferably white cheese, and I buy just the string white cheese is what they suggested. Carnation instant breakfast to make chocolate milk. They say not to use the syrup, but to use the Carnation instant breakfast every so often, not to do it every time, because then they will get used to chocolate milk instead of just white unsweetened milk. So she sometimes does get chocolate milk, not all the time. Cream cheese to potatoes, almond butter to bread. And then another interesting thing that I found is that when you go to buy yogurt, most of the children's yogurt is now low-fat yogurt. Yo Baby yogurt is a yogurt, for example, that is a whole milk yogurt that contains a lot of fat. So we just recently got some Yo Baby. It's organic formula, or organic yogurt. So we had gotten, I don't know, I can't remember, I think it was Dannon or something. It had Dora on it, and it was low-fat yogurt. So you just have to watch out when you buy yogurts for your toddler. Just make sure that they're whole milk yogurt and not low-fat yogurt. And then I just found some different websites that I will put up there for you guys to see. And then I also found that between the ages of 1 and 2, a toddler will gain only about 5 pounds. And which she's gained 1.5 pounds since she was 12 months old. So her weight gain is gonna slow down. When they're infants, their weight gain is just crazy. I mean, like, they gain so much weight in the first year, but then in their second year of life, they do slow down, and they're kind of picky. Like, Ella is very picky. She will only eat certain things. So one day she'll like one thing and the next day she won't like it. So we have to kind of like give her a variety of food. She loves fish sticks right now, and she loves chicken nuggets and hot dogs, which I try not to give her a whole lot of hot dogs just because of all the fat content in those, so, and the sodium. Anyways, so that is about it. Oh, and the other thing is, like, you can space their meals out between 5 and 6 meals instead of, 3 meals. You can do 5 to 6 small meals if they are a child who doesn't like to eat big meals. Like, Ella doesn't like that. So when she goes to daycare, though, she eats everything that they have there, but then she gets here and it's like she doesn't have a huge appetite as what she did at daycare. So anyways, but that is what I found, and I will put some more websites down there for you guys to see. Like I found an article about 17 tips for pleasing the picky eater, feeding the underweight child, how to help your older baby or toddler gain weight nutritiously. So I will put all of those links in the description box, and if you guys have any questions for me, just put them in the comments box. Thanks for watching.